What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to some Fortnite. Wow, haven't said that one in a while, but we're playing some duos with Ben. Lately we've been kind of feeling some Fortnite, so we've been kind of playing a little bit. Haven't really been doing quite well, but it's still fun to change up a little bit. So I will leave all of his links down in the description below if you want to check out his live streams, YouTube and or Twitter. So I hope you guys do enjoy the gameplay. In the background, a little bit of an awkward ending. I will kind of spoil it now. We end up getting the final 10 and I have to leave. So I drop all of my stuff and Ben plays it out. I end up hearing that we did not win the game just because of strictly numbers. He was getting 2v1 every single fight, which, makes sense because I wasn't there. But I hope you guys do enjoy in the background, as today we talk about the whole Battle Royale scene. And it kind of bugs me that every single Battle Royale that comes out, they're trying to make into an esport. Now, let's just start off with good esports. All of them are team-based. So there's always at least 4, probably 5, potentially even 6 players per team. At least on the, an average game day, there's usually, about 5 or so. And with Fortnite, Apex Legends, PUBG, Blackout, what are the other ones? I think I'm forgetting one. But with every Battle Royale, there's not really like a set, amount of people per game. So, and one thing I'm going to mention later on is like the community-based ones with all the YouTubers and stuff. I'll talk about that a little bit later. It's in my notes for later. But I'm talking about strictly, Optic Gaming picked up a Fortnite team. They played in like one event and then did whatever, and then they got dropped later on. Now, I understand getting into a big esport and trying to get into that scene and get your, your brand all over it. But with Battle Royale games, you can't really, because the competitive scene is so hard. Because there's so many good people that play Fortnite, right? I mean, there's every single pro team. There's all the top streamers are all usually pretty darn good at the game. Then you have all of the 13-year-olds that are home with their mom and dad paid setups that are really good at the game as well. Those young streamers that are all really good. And basically everyone that plays on PC just seems to be an absolute legend at this game. So you have a lot of good people. So there's not really like a defined way to get to the top. So that kind of brings me into what I was mentioning earlier with the community tournaments. And, Keemstar ran one. That was Friday Fortnite. And then Epic Games ran this whole big Pro-Am thing. And it was like, yeah, it was kind of cool to watching, streamers and YouTubers and whatever, and influencers and whoever play with all these, pro athletes or, big celebrities or small celebrities or, whoever they were, or even athletes. I don't think I said that. But like, yeah, events like that are cool and everything. Like, they promote your game and, it's a good old time and whatever. But that doesn't really make it an esport. I mean, if you want to have big community, like, fun tournaments or whatever, go for it. But don't try to force the game to be competitive, because everyone wants to make it competitive. Sometimes it ruins the game. And that's what it kind of seems like with Fortnite. Now, I still love playing the game, but with all these, tournaments and wagers and, all these more competitive options for the game, it makes everyone play the game non-stop, which makes everyone gods. So you see me, playing Fortnite. I'm just here having fun time, going for wins, obviously, but I'm not over here trying to drop 40 kills a map with, all this crazy stuff happening. I'm here to have a good time. Have a good time with Ben, my brother, whoever. And I just want to have a good time. But everyone wants to try so hard and, practice scrimming and all this other stuff. And it kind of makes the game not fun, because last time I watched a stream, I don't know if it was Ninja or Dr. Lupo or Courage or whoever it was, but they were playing in this competitive playlist, or they were scrimming or whatever they were doing, and there was 40 people left at the final circle. Do you know how long you have to be in a game to have 40 alive in the final circle? Like, no joke. I'm watching these guys play, and they boxed up on the side of a mountain or whatever, and then they have like barely any any like guns or ammo, and they reduce the mats, so you don't really have 3,000 mats as a normal game would be, and they're just kind of sitting there, trying to like double heavy snipe a wall or a ramp or whatever. And it's like, okay, I mean, yeah, that's like a cool tactic and everything, but like, this isn't fun to watch. And then it gets down to the final 10 after like half the people die to the zone and, fall to their death and whatever, and they misplay, or, someone breaks into their box and whatever happens. And then you have, 13 people alive in like a heal off, a tiny circle that you can barely place, kind of like 2 ramps next to each other to lead up to the top of it. And it's like, there's 13 people left and none of these people have more than 2 kills. Like, that's not fun to watch, at least for me anyway. Like, being good at an esport, or being good at a game, is to be the best, not to hide in boxes and to wait until the final, small zone to actually start moving and building and trying to fight and whatever. Now, I know that's the whole point. They have try to have a whole point system and whatever. And it's okay, I guess, for those like Friday Fortnite tournaments or those Pro-Am tournaments or whatever. But trying to make Fortnite an esport is just shouldn't be a thing. Because one, this is kind of my main point, is you can't really have a good battle royale kind of like leaderboard. Because how do you determine the best player? Is it the most kills? Is it getting into the final 10 or even winning? Is it the people that have the most damage per map? What exactly do you define? Like right now in Fortnite, they have those hoverboards, those stupid balls that are super annoying to deal with. You have quadcopters. Before you had planes. Like, how is that competitive? Right? I want people to be dropping high kills, outplaying people, and just overall having a great time destroying noobs. If you put all of the best players in the world, just say the top 100 players in the world, in one game, and you played 10 games, most likely you're going to have different results every single time. That's just a guess. Every single time they'll be different. Now, yes, there are some good players that can outplay, normal average players like it's their job. I mean, it kind of is, being, streamers, YouTubers, or pro players or whatever. But it's the same thing with like PUBG. I watched, back when Optic had a team, I watched just because it was Optic, and I was like, okay, I don't really know too much about PUBG, so I'll go in and hang out with them and see what this esports all about. And they basically just avoided fights and rotated around the map, and until it got down to like the 4th circle, you barely saw anyone get eliminated. So it was like, I know that's the point, is to have that like strategic play and to be at the end and win and try to pick off some people and get kills or eliminations or whatever. But I don't want to have people avoiding fights, right? You look at Call of Duty, you look at CSGO, you look at League of Legends. I mean, League of Legends is a little different, but they don't avoid fights. You see someone, you shoot at them. Not you see someone and you sit there and wait for an hour until you've rotated around the map 7 times in a row to kill somebody. Like, personally, battle royals are great to watch for streamers, for small tournaments like Friday Fortnite and the Fortnite Pro-Am tournament. Those community events are very cool to watch, are great for the game. But don't try to force these battle royale games to be esports. Because there's no real way to have a good scene when it's so random. And that's not even to mention, each game you have random loot. Yes, there's, in Fortnite there's chest spawns and You know, sometimes you go to vending machines and whatever. But there's no real way to make a Battle Royale game completely fair and competitive. And then you could argue, you know, just practice game and be better and build and have a good shot and whatever. But it's like, yeah, with building, you could be the best builder in the world and still suck. Like, building doesn't help your aim, or aiming doesn't help your build. So in the case of Fortnite, you have to be good at building, shooting, rotating, knowing where people are, and everything. And in, you know, PUBG, you have to have really good positioning. Obviously, you have to have a good shot, a good, you know, map sense, and you know, you have to have, you know, play for information. No one really watches Apex anymore, so you know that's kind of off the table. But overall, I don't know. Battle Royale games shouldn't be esports, in my opinion. There's just too many variables, too random. And, you know, although you could argue, you know, Call of Duty is different every game, you still have, like, a certain way to play where it's right. And Battle Royales, you can play however you want and somehow find success. So, overall, it doesn't really make sense to me, but I guess that's up for my, you know, just, you know, my opinion. So let me know your opinion down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.